It's easy to preach what to do, but to actually do it is another thing. It's so easy to preach it because it's not currently happening to you. And if it's for somebody else, it's easier for you to see it from a different perspective than the person that is in it. And so when you have stuff that comes up, like my stuff recently, and it's like I've said all these things and preached all these things, and it's like, take your own damn advice, Jen. Like, seriously, take your own advice. And just stop and be in the moment. Listen to your own words and do it. Don't go down the rabbit hole of these what ifs and these fear-based thoughts. But let's just be real. This is part of life. This is part of being human. This is part of our brain and how it works. And all of our experiences that we've gone through that have made us who we are today, they have also jacked us up to who we are today and how our nervous system responds to things when our nervous system feels that we're not safe and we're being chased by that lion or that tiger, even though that lion or tiger technically doesn't exist, but it's the fear of not being safe. So my nervous system is completely overwired and fired up. And so when I have stuff that happens, it gets triggered and I have to work so hard, harder than I should have if I had a normal nervous system. But I don't have a normal nervous system, and I don't even think there's such thing as normal anymore. It's just our circumstances and whatever it is for us. There is no normal. So I have to recognize that my nervous system is being overactive and how to calm it down and how to bring it back to being in this moment and being safe and not fretting and having anxiety about the future, because that's really what it boils down to. Is right now is I'm fretting about the future and what could that mean and what does this entail, and I have to wait for all the answers to come, and I have to go through a process, and some of the processes create more fear, and they're just fears from things that I've experienced in the past. So those things that are triggering the things from the past is currently in my present, so I need to deal with the present moment. I can't change the past. I need to deal in the present moment and talk to my my mind to let it know, yes, you are very valid in having these concerns. Yes, this has happened in the past, but this is now. My life story has been about, I need to learn about trust. And so it's a constant thing that's playing in the background here is how to trust people, how to trust doctors, how to trust myself. If I don't even trust myself, how can I trust anybody else? And I sometimes can't trust myself. Like, I don't know if you've used a pendulum before, but I influence that pendulum with the answer that I feel it should be. Even if I try to remain neutral, I try and get into a neutral space, I don't trust myself because of my history of influencing the outcome of the response. Even when I use my body as a pendulum to ask about certain foods or nutritional supplements that I should use, I also influence the answer to what I think it should be. And I don't do it intentionally. I do not do it intentionally. So I haven't quite figured that out. But I do know this about myself. So I am aware. So that's the key, is first is to become aware. And in order to be, once we become aware, then we can try and make things to make it change. If we want it to change. Of course I want it to change. Of course I want to trust myself. Of course I want to trust people. And so I have to listen to my intuition. So if I see a doctor and I'm talking to them, I need to listen to my intuition and see how I feel and see if this resonates with me. And so I think about the doctor that I just recently saw, and I think about the fact that he took the time and he reviewed my stuff. Like, I could see him reviewing it in front of me, which was amazing, and he was showing me stuff and talking to me and listening to me and dealing with my analytical mind. Like, when he'd say this, and that, I'm like, oh, is that why this? He's like, no. And like, he's like, this, and that. And I'm like, oh, is that because of this? And he's like, no. But it's just, I said, sorry, it's my analytical mind. My analytical mind has to evaluate everything that you're saying and apply it to mean to attach to something else, because that is how my mind works. My mind wants to know the why things happen. And I think that it thinks that if it knows the why it's happening, is you can prevent it from happening in the future, and you can understand why my body does the things that it does. That is a way of me trying to make myself feel safe. Is it the correct way of doing it? No, probably not. I just need to learn to trust my intuition and let go of the things that have happened to me in the past when I wasn't always living in my intuition and wasn't always trusting myself. And dealing with the things that caused me to not trust myself, like the situations that I went through. So, while this is my story, I think that some people would also resonate with this, because this is just being real. This is just living our life. This is just the things that our mind goes through. We're trying to listen to our heart. We're trying to listen to our intuition. We're trying to see things from a higher perspective, and at times we can. But sometimes when we're emotionally involved in something, it's really, really hard to see clearly, and that's when we have to figure out a way to kind of step out of our body, sort of, as far as the brain and the mind and the fight or flight mode and the nervous system that's used to reacting a certain way, stepping out of that, probably going into meditation, which I need to do, and just being there and not letting the mind and the thoughts take over, and let me just connect to that divine loving energy. So, but I don't know about you, but I sometimes when I'm in this situation and I'm emotional and I have lots of things going on and stresses, it's like it's hard for me to quiet my mind and just sit there. If I sit there and I'm just like closing my eyes and I'm trying to like meditate, I can't sit there for very long. I'm like, okay, I gotta get up. I gotta go do this. I gotta do that. Which is why I should really do the things that help me stay grounded, like going out for walks in nature and listening to music. And sometimes I just don't feel like it. I just don't wanna. You know, you ever get to just the I don't wanna do it. I don't want to do it. I know it's good for me, but I don't want to do it. like I do that all the time. I don't want to do it. It's work. It's work. I don't want to do crap. And that's because my nervous system is taking me into a different mode. I'm learning from my therapist that there's different parts of the ladder to the nervous system. And the dorsal is the bottom. When you don't want to do anything, you're conserving energy. It's like you're in the jowls of the lion or the tiger, and you're just trying not to get killed, but you're not going to fight because you're just playing dead. It's because you're conserving energy. So that way when the lion lets go of its grasp on your neck, you can take off and bolt and run because you've conserved your energy. And so that's the sympathetic mode, is the action mode. And then the ventral mode, which is the top ladder, is the connection, the divine, the good loving feelings and the connection. So I get into that very bottom dorsal mode, and I don't want to do crap. And I just want to conserve my energy. It's like I'm in the jaws of the tiger because I've been chased, and now I need to conserve energy and just try not to die. So that's when I get into those modes, and it's like, how do I get out of that dorsal mode and move back into the sympathetic mode to take action, which would be to get up and to go for a walk and to listen to some music. Or even, I don't know. As I say that, I get emotional. It's because it's like, I don't want to. I don't want to do it. I don't want to get up again, and that's how I feel sometimes. And I'm sure a lot of us feel that way. I mean, we do get up eventually. So I just have to feel these feelings, and I have to sit with them, and I have to learn to accept them as they are. And if I may have to force myself to do something I don't want to do. But even when I went for a walk last night and took the dogs for a walk with my daughter, like, I was just not in a good mood. I just was so irritable, but I was forcing myself to do it. So sometimes forcing isn't always the best choice, especially if you're in that irritable mode. Or maybe I should have did it by myself, and not have taken my daughter or the dogs and just walked really fast and put the music on and cleared my head. Maybe that's what I needed. I didn't need more stimulation. So maybe just the extra stimulation was just too much for me. So these are just my thoughts that I'm just sitting here reeling about, and thought that I would do a voice recording of it. And I don't know. I mean, let's just get real in the real life. And I love going on to TikTok or Facebook and YouTube and watching all these reels, but they like suck me in, and they like are sucking my life away. It's like a motivation killer. Like, I feel like it's a motivation killer, and I feel like I just need to get off these platforms, because while it's a love-hate relationship. So it's helpful, but at the same time, it also sucks me away from living my life. I've noticed. And I can become very just disconnected. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll post this. Maybe I won't. I just hope that this helps somebody, because I know I watch these videos and everybody's like, oh, so happy and everything's great and you should just do this and you've got abundance coming. And I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, all right, just stop. I feel like let's just we need the positive, yes, but I feel like it's an overly abundantness of this stuff being thrown at me. And sometimes when I'm in a funk, I'm just like, really, the world is not just rainbows and butterflies and abundance being thrown at me. But then again, it's always our perspective and how we can perceive things, and if we can perceive them as being a joyful thing. But let's just cut the crap. Sometimes you just need to feel the crap. Just let it be. And let all the happy, foo-foo, excited, let's go to the fifth dimension people, go to the fifth dimension. I'm just going to hang out back here until I can get myself up off this bed and move forward. I just want to be in a better place. I just want to be happy, healthy, whole, and healed. I don't care what dimension it's in. And I just want to feel loved, and I just want to have connection. And I just want to be happy. And yeah. I think maybe I'm going to be logging out of some of these platforms just for a bit, so I can spend some more time living my life than living my life through other people. Anyway, I don't know where this went, but I hope this helps you. Love always and forever. Bye for now.